Gunye. ATA. All right, let's start by high knees. Let's get those knees up nice and high. And just running in place. We'll get ourselves warmed up. We're also going to review some of our basic moves as we warm up too. We're going to incorporate that in our warm up. All right, now let's switch it to heel kicks. So kick up those heels nice and high. That's it, everyone. Good job. This is my third workout today. I do a little workout with each class that I teach. I have to be in good shape. All right, now let's switch to soccer kicks. So soccer kicks are just like this, except we want to go a little bit faster. That's it, everyone. Keep it going. Good. Go ahead and shake out the legs a little bit. Let's switch over to arms and do spider push-ups. So point your hands towards your feet and just bend your arms up and down, or bend your elbows. And it always starts out easy, and after a little bit, you start feeling it. But the great thing about this is it works out different parts of the arm than just regular push-ups. So it's always good to do both. That way you address different muscles when you work out. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's go ahead and stand up. Now, start over here and in a middle stance. Make sure you're pointing your toes forward. And we're going to get our hands ready for a knife hand strike. Then we're going to take a double step. Notice I'm keeping my knees bent as I step, okay? I'm not straightening up. I'm keeping my knees bent. So I step together, knife hand strike. Then I turn and look the other way. I get my hand ready for the other side. Double step, knife and strike. Then I turn and look. Go ahead and do this with me. Double step, knife and strike. I turn and look. Double step, knife and strike. Turn and look. Double step, knife and strike. And just keep going back and forth. So we're practicing our stance and our knife hand strikes. It's also important to look in the direction where you're going with your techniques. So turn and look, and keep those knees bent. So we're exercising also the arms and the legs. Good. Go ahead and stop right there. Now let's work a little bit on our kicks, our front kicks specifically. So start out in a front stance. Step back, front kick, and then step forward. Now we'll step back with that leg, front kick, step forward in a front stance. Step back, front kick, step forward in a front stance. Step back, front kick, and step forward in a front stance. So we'll keep going back and forth. And this isn't a speed drill. We're not trying to see how many front kicks you can do in 30 seconds. But we're just stepping back, front kick. Now this type of kick is called a number 4 front kick. Number 4 means we're too close to our target and we need to take a step back and then we can kick. Keep that kick towards the center of your body. So you want to kick about the center of your body instead of to the outside. That's it, keep it going. Nice and steady. Work on good technique. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Go ahead and shake out those legs a little bit. Do some arm scissors. You know, loosen up the arms a little bit more before we go on to our next exercise. And now take your arms and big circles forward. Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm just kind of catching my breath a little bit. That's why we're doing this. And going backwards. All right, now let's get back into that middle stance. This time we're going to do inner forearm blocks. So remember, the hand that's blocking starts on the bottom, other hand goes on top. Turn and look. I take 2 steps, inner forearm block. I turn and look. Now my other hand goes on the bottom, double step, inner forearm block. Turn and look, double step, inner forearm block. Turn and look, double step, inner forearm block. And just keep going back and forth. Don't get crazy or fast. Focus on keeping your knees bent and having good technique. Make sure you're looking where you're blocking. That eye contact is important. We have to be looking at our targets. That's it, keep it going. Just gonna take a peek at you guys here, see who's doing what. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, shake that off a little bit. Now, what happens when you keep your knees bent and doing drills like that is it works your leg muscles. So raise your hand if you are starting to feel it in your legs. Who was feeling it? Pretty much everybody, okay? Guess what? I wasn't feeling it. I could go longer. And the reason is because I do a lot of that and I train with my knees bent. And the more you do it, the stronger your legs get. So don't cheat yourself by keeping your legs straight. Okay, that's not going to help you. It helps to keep your knees bent. And now sometimes if you need to just like shake it out a little bit and then go back to it, that's okay. But you want to try to keep them bent while you're doing the exercise as much as possible. Okay, let's move into our stretching. And then we'll just do a little more review with some basic techniques and do a little bit of self-defense and then Bang Mang Mi. And then we'll wrap it up with that. All right, so stretch arms across. And over the top. So you're patting yourself on the back and then just pull on your elbow. And other side. Boy, it is so nice out today, and it's supposed to be good all weekend too. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know about anybody else, but it's nice just to even go outside in my backyard. All right, over the top. Okay, now feet together. We're going to stretch down, keep our legs nice and straight. The other great thing about the sun is vitamin D, and vitamin D is very good for us. Back up, deep breath in, and back down. Go ahead and stand up, deep breath in. One more time, exhale as you go down. Keep those legs nice and straight. All right, go ahead and stand up, feet apart, And we're bending the knees, but we're turning our toes away as much as possible and putting our elbows on our knees, and then using our elbows to push our knees out. That helps us to get a little bit better stretch. And just hold it there for a few seconds. Keep taking nice deep breaths. And now put your hands on the floor and stretch out your legs nice and straight and hold it there. And go back to that stretch where we have our elbows on our knees and push them apart. And just do the best that you can do. Everybody has different levels of flexibility. Some are more flexible than others, and that's okay. And now hands on the floor and straighten up the back legs. And just hold it there. Now go ahead and stretch your legs out farther, as far as you can. Enough to challenge yourself, but don't hurt yourself. Don't overdo it. If you're wondering where my dogs are, they're outside today. I think one of them's barking right now. All right, go ahead and lock it in. All right, great job, everyone. So we've got a warm up, we're stretched out. Let's work a little bit on some of our other basics. So we've been through knife and strike, inner forearm block, and front kick. So let's work a little bit on our punches. So there's a couple of kinds of punches if we get into a front stance. So front stance, again, let me do it facing this way first. So our toes are pointed forward. This leg steps out. And I want to turn my back toes forward as much as possible. My front leg is bent, my back leg is straight. Okay, so let's get this hand ready for a punch. Now, if we're punching with the back hand, that's called a reverse punch. Front punch, reverse punch. Front punch, reverse punch. Front punch, reverse punch. Front punch, reverse punch. Now, if I switch my stance, so I just did a jump switch. So go ahead and do a jump switch if you'd like. That's kind of fun. Now this leg is bent, back leg is straight. Now this hand becomes the reverse punch because it's coming from the back. So reverse punch, front punch, reverse punch, front punch, reverse punch, front punch. Good. All right, go ahead and shake that out a little bit. So that's how we do punches for forms in Taekwondo. But if we're doing sparring or self-defense, we want to start our hands up here. We want to go up to somebody in a self-defense situation and do this. Okay, that'd be kind of dorky, actually. But here's where we would be in a self-defense situation. And then that jab is what the front punch is. And the cross is that reverse punch. So that's the parallel right there. Okay, so now let's work on our combination. So get to your sparring stance, bend those knees, kind of bounce them up a little bit, make sure you're nice and loose, and jab cross. Just start out with our jab cross. Work a nice rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So just keep thinking that in your head, get that rhythm. You don't want to just be crazy because that doesn't have any rhythm. So 1, 2. Almost sounds like a heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. So get that rhythm down. Now jump switch, other side, same thing. Make sure you have that rhythm. 1, 2. Hands come back to guard position after you punch. Remember, don't be crazy. Have that rhythm. Now let's add in our front kick. So jab, cross, front kick. Good, jump switch. Other side, jab cross, front kick. Here's what it looks like from the side. All right, everybody go ahead and stop. Catch your breath, take a couple of deep breaths. Let me check my time, make sure I'm running on schedule.
10 minutes.
Okay, I have about 11 minutes left. So let's go ahead and grab whatever stick that you have available. All right, so I just want to review the 9 strike lines that we've been through. And then I'm going to give you a few minutes to develop what we call a creative form with your weapon. So I'll give you an example of a creative form, and then I'll let you come up with your own. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through the 9 lines, the 9 strike lines. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is a groin strike, 8 over the top of the head, 9 is a jab. And we have our backward twirl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And twirl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And twirl. Okay, so now let me give you an example of something you could do for a form. So I can mix in, our weapon is really just an extension of ourselves of what we do in Taekwondo. So think about when I do that number 1 strike, I know you guys haven't learned it yet, but this is a hammer fist, okay? So that's what I'm doing. It's just an extension of Taekwondo in using a weapon, okay? So here's what I can do. I can mix up my kicks and punches and blocks and everything in what I do with my weapon. So I could start out with a strike, jab, maybe do a backward twirl just because. And then I could do a front kick, and then another strike, and then take a step back, and maybe block. Uh-oh, somebody tried to get me, so I block. And then I step forward and strike again, and then step back with a twirl, and I'm ready to go for some more action. Okay, so that's just an example of what you could do with a creative form. I just came up with that off the top of my head. So I'll give everybody just a few minutes and go ahead and develop your creative form, and then we'll watch what you have. All right, go. I'm gonna get a quick drink of water while you guys are practicing. Wow, looks like we got some cool stuff going on out there. All right, let's go ahead and see what you guys have. We'll start with Mrs. Farrell. Go for it, ma'am. Awesome, good job. I like it. Very good. All right, let's go on to Juan. Let's see it, Juan. Awesome. Oh, he's not done yet. Go ahead, keep going. Show me your big finish. Oh man, that is a big finish. All right, good job, Juan. That was great. All right, let's go over to Paul, please. Let's check out Paul's form. Wow, Paul, that was great. I think you're like training for extreme martial arts there. That was pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna teach you guys one more thing before we sign off. So you can also do a block. So I showed you how to block across like this. So that's one block. Hold on, I'll get to this hand. So we turn it over and block it across. But another block, like say a block that's coming high, we'd want to block up here. Okay, so that's another block that we could do. So if somebody's doing that overhead strike, trying to hit you on top of the head, you would block here. Now, let me show you something as you block. Notice how I'm reinforcing it with my hand, because if I just do this, there's not much to reinforce it, and that could come through and hit me on top of the head. So what I do is I put my hand behind it, and notice I'm not grabbing it because I don't want to get my fingers hit, but I have my hand flat behind it. That shows you a little bit better. So right here, okay? So for that block, you just block here, okay? So we can block, and then after you block, we can come around and strike. Okay, so there's a neat combination. You come up and block, strike, block, and strike, block, and strike, block, and strike, block, and strike. All right, so there's just another cool combination for you to work on and put in your arsenal of cool things to do with your Songjubong. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and unmute everybody. And if you have any questions, now's the time to ask.